Hi, friends. I'm so happy that you are joining me in this meeting today, in this bonus training that is all about KPIs, key performance indicators. The fact that you're here with me today tells me that you are ready to take your fitness business to the next level. Whatever that next level looks like to you. It can be the next level of financial success. It can be the next level of energy, enthusiasm, happiness. Maybe you're looking for the next level of freedom, working 20 hours a week while your company is generating massive revenues. I'm here to help you. I started my yoga studio, my fitness business 10 years ago with a small one-room yoga studio, and I grew that business to 7 locations in Texas, a raw vegan juice bar, a yoga retreat center in Taos, New Mexico. And then eventually, about a year and a half ago, I sold that business, and now I'm traveling around the world with my husband and my children. I'm actually making this video from the Amalfi Coast in Italy. So my intention behind these series of trainings is to help you take your fitness business, your yoga business to the next level. I mean, I'm sure you are a brilliant human being, and you can spend the next 10 years making costly mistakes and, making a lot of mistakes, or you can just spend a few hours with me and I'll share with you everything I know about running a thriving yoga or fitness business. So where do we start today? What I want to start with is that because you chose this path, because you chose to start your own business, and not just like any business, but a fitness business, a yoga business, tells me that deep in your heart, you have this desire to make a massive contribution to the happiness and well-being of others. Most likely yoga or fitness or well-being, this industry, wellness industry, touched your life in a very profound way. And this is why you want to give back. This is why you want to touch the lives of other people. You want to help them transform their lives. You want to help people live a happy, healthy, and abundant life. And this is my higher purpose. This is my mission in life, is to help people live a happy, healthy, and abundant life. So we are on the same page. And please correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of times I've noticed that yoga studio owners or fitness gym owners, they're really passionate about teaching yoga, or they're really passionate about teaching fitness. And they can tell you everything that they know about, keto diet or HIIT trainings or this type of yoga or that type of yoga. They get really lit up and passionate about what they love, and they're less passionate about the business side of their business. They're less passionate about the numbers. And, if you are collecting money from other people, you are a business. If you have a lease, if you have a personal guarantee, if you're paying taxes, which I hope that you do, that I hope that your business is legal, all of those things mean that you are a business, and you need to run your business as a business, not as a hobby. And I'm here to help you do that. So the topic of today's bonus training is KPIs, key performance indicators. And I have a feeling for a lot of you, if I say KPI, your brain automatically turns off. If I say anything about numbers, if I say anything about dollars, maybe you start glitching. And you can see me talk, you can see my mouth move, but if your brain is turned off, you won't hear anything that I say. So before we start this training, before we get into the nitty-gritty of KPIs and numbers and making them sexy and exciting, I want to put you guys in a correct state of mind. And before we do that, I'm going to tell you a little story. And the story is about incantations. What is an incantation? Incantation is just a fancy word for a magic spell. So it's a series of words that unlock a special kind of magic. So in every single fairy tale around the world, usually an incantation, magic words are said, and then poof, something magical happens. So it can be something like abracadabra or hocus pocus, or in Russian, which is my first language, it can be something like по щучьему велению, по моему хотению. You say the magic words and then poof, and magic happens. So why do I say that? Believe it or not, every single one of us says an incantation every single day of our lives. Moreover, we constantly say these incantations, and we create magic in our lives. Now, the problem is that some of us say really crappy incantations, unlocking really crappy magic. So let me give you an example. I'm so tired. Or why am I such an idiot? Or there is no money in the fitness industry. Or running a yoga studio is so hard. Or I'm so fat. Or, you know, I'll end up being alone. I mean, we say these things without even realizing that we're saying these things. And by saying those things, or even when we don't say those things, we think those things. This is an incantation that unlocks crappy magic. If you say there is no money in fitness, there won't be money in fitness. And it's actually not true. Just earlier today, I listened to a podcast with a lady who is a founder of Orange Theory. And did you know that Orange Theory has been around only for 8 years? And that company today generates over $1 billion a year. Can you imagine that? An 8-year-old company generating $8 billion a year. And it was just a single mom starting as a Pilates instructor in her apartment who grew her business to this thriving community all over the world. So that's not true. Why am I saying this in this KPI training? This is why, because I want you to get into a correct state, because we're about to talk about numbers, and we need to get excited about numbers, and we need to make numbers fun and sexy and engaging. Because guess what? Numbers in this training, when I talk about numbers, I am going to talk about money, dollars. And some of you may be glitching around numbers. A lot of you may be glitching around money, and I want to take that glitching away. So in order to unlock this magic, we're going to do a simple incantation, and we're going to get into a correct physical state. We're going to get into a correct mental state. We're going to get into a correct internal state, energetic state, so that numbers come to us easily, so that money comes to us easily. Are you ready? Say yes. All right, so sit up straight, do everything with me. I mean, like, one very important thing. I've worked with hundreds, if not thousands of clients, and the people who truly succeed when they work with me are the people who listen, they do, and they succeed. Listen, do, succeed. And people who don't see the results of those people who listen, they don't do, and therefore they don't succeed. In that middle step between listen and succeed, they start doubting themselves, or they start questioning everything that I say, and they just don't do it, and therefore they don't succeed. So since you're here, just do what I'm asking you to do. And right now, sit up straight, do what I'm saying, take a really deep inhale, exhale it all out. Let's do that again. Inhale. And exhale. And one more time, big inhale, and this time enjoy and savor your breath. And big exhale, and this time just roll your shoulders, loosen up your shoulders, maybe move your head side to side, and say it with me out loud. The reason why I ask you to say this out loud is because when you say something, you engage, you use your vocal cords. You use more of your physicality. Moreover, when you say something, and if you say it especially with enthusiasm, with excitement, with energy, your voice vibrates and it actually reaches the areas of your brain that cannot be reached any other way. So only the vibration of your voice can reach certain parts of your brain. And ultimately, what we're trying to do in these trainings, guys, we're trying to get to a part of your subconscious mind that is responsible for everything, because your success or failure in anything, your business, your career, your relationships, your health, anything, it all depends on your psychology, what's going on in your head. So let's just get that straight. Let's get our head in the correct place so that we can all succeed. Everything, the key to your own happiness, success is right here in your brain. So do it with me. Sit up straight. We're going to say a very simple incantation with excitement and power. And the incantation goes like this. Repeat after me. I love numbers. Numbers love me. Say it with me. I love numbers. Numbers love me. One more time. I love numbers. Numbers love me. We're about to talk about numbers. We're about to talk about KPIs, key performance indicators. It's all numbers. So let's get excited about numbers. Let's get excited about money. I love money. Money loves me. Say it with me. I love money. Money loves me. I love money. Money loves me. I love numbers. Numbers love me. Say it with me. I love money. Money loves me. So when you say that, this is an incantation it's going to unlock that kind of magic. All right. So hopefully you did this with me. I'm really excited about it. So let's get started. All right. I'm sharing a screen with you. Look at that fancy technology. I even put together an agenda. So today we're going to talk about KPIs, key performance indicators, and why is it important? So like I mentioned, a lot of you guys are true artists. Your heart and your soul is right here in what you do. It's your passion. You love helping people. You love teaching yoga. You love teaching fitness classes. And a lot of you, I have a feeling, are struggling with the business side of yoga, or of your fitness business or your yoga business. And a lot of you maybe are struggling with running your business as a business. A lot of you are maybe struggling with the numbers. So KPIs matter because it's important for you to look at your KPIs regularly. And hopefully in the end of this training, you will want to look at your KPIs on the daily basis. You have to look at your KPIs on the daily basis. You need to understand your numbers, because when you truly understand your numbers, and not only your numbers, but the relationship between the numbers, then it will help you to make really great decisions that are based on solid data rather than just feelings. Now, don't get me wrong. I am a spiritual business lady. I'm a very spiritual person. And before I make any decision, business or not, I meditate and I listen to my intuition. I listen to that divine guidance. And at the same time, I always look at the data. I always look at the numbers. So have a solid understanding of your key performance indicators. This is your revenue. This is your attendance. This is your conversion rates. These are your retention rates. These are your attendance numbers. How many people never come back to your studio or your gym after their first visit? Why don't they come? I mean, knowing these numbers is going to open up an opportunity for you to create strategies in every single aspect of your business, marketing, pricing strategy, customer relationship. I truly believe that every single aspect of your business depends on the numbers. It allows you to make decisions based on solid data and not just the feeling. Say it with me. I love numbers. Numbers love me. Okay, so why else? Why KPIs are important? Because this is something that you can measure. Instead of like, oh, I have a feeling this, or that, numbers don't lie. You can look at your year-over-year performance. You can look at the performance of your business month over month. You can see if it's increasing, if it's declining. You can see how the numbers are changing over time, the seasonality of your business. And this gives you tools, incredible tools to plan for the future, to create strategies to enhance or counteract certain seasonalities of your numbers or certain trends in your business. I hope you can get excited about numbers as I am. I'm like a turtle nerd. Did I tell you that I used to be a CPA in my past? I guess once a CPA, always a CPA. All right. Anyway, I'm weird like that. I'm quirky and I am proud of that. Well, it's, again, create strategies to counteract seasonality of fitness yoga industry. So what are we going to cover today? Today we'll cover, in the email that you received, if you signed up for this training, or if you're looking on the website, there'll be a link to download a KPI template. So once you download it, you don't have to do it right now, but you'll need to customize your spreadsheet to reflect your own data. We'll talk about revenues today. How exciting. We'll talk about goals. I'm going to show you live in MindBody how to run those numbers. We'll talk about examples. Today, we're not going to talk about recurring revenue. This is for an in-depth training. I'm going to lead it later. Today, however, we will talk about visits. In visits and attendance, one really important thing that I want you to remember, and you may want to jot it down on a piece of paper, that your attendance, your clients' visits will always go hand in hand with your revenues. So if dollars and revenues turn your brain off, then focus on visits. And these are the actual people who are coming to your yoga classes. These are the actual people who are coming to your gym, to your fitness classes. So visits, attendance, and revenues always will go hand in hand together. All righty. All right, so our fitness industry, our yoga industry, if you have a gym, a CrossFit gym, any fitness business, you know this, that it's a very seasonal business, meaning that, you know, in January, everybody and their dog want to start a new life. Everybody hits the gym. Everybody goes to the yoga studio. And this lasts for like, what, 2-3 weeks at most? So you'll see a big spike in January in the beginning of the year. And if you don't do anything about it, if you don't create strategies to counteract those seasonalities, this is what's going to happen most likely. And I can show you how to run the numbers to back up what I'm talking about. Then from January, the numbers will go down, 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 all the way to December, and then you'll have a big spike in next January again. Or it will go something like this: January, big spike, then it'll go down, down, down. Then you'll see another big spike once the summer comes around, because people travel, people take vacations, and then it'll go down, down, down. And then November, December, if you're in the US, the numbers will go down again, because in the US we have Thanksgiving in November and then Christmas in December. Or if you are like from Russia, from Kazakhstan, where I'm from, you know, people party from December all the way to mid-January. Ain't nobody going to the gym, ain't nobody going to yoga. So in other words, our business is very seasonal. And we'll look at the numbers in a minute. I'll show you how it is seasonal. And I'm going to also talk in today's training, I'm also going to tell you about certain strategies, certain practices, certain things that you can do to counteract that seasonality. All right, we'll talk about goals and targets. Always measure. I'll demonstrate to you what I have done with my business. This is what greatly contributed to the tremendous success that I had running my yoga studios, my fitness brand, 7 locations in Texas. Every single person on my team looked at the goals and targets and how we were comparing to the targets every single day. Yes, every member of my team looked at that. And then we'll talk about revenue. Your revenue is the ultimate KPI. Your revenue, money, is what keeps your business going. And if you're like glitching for some reason about money, like it makes you feel uncomfortable, whatever, you just need to get over it. You are a business. Like I said, if you take money, you are a business. And look at it like this. Money is not evil. Money is actually neutral. And having the abundance of money gives you the freedom to do all the things that you love doing. When you have a steady flow of income, of revenue, of money, you can tap into your most creative, most powerful self. You can serve your clients from deep in your heart, from your soul. You can organize really amazing kick-ass parties. You can like do things that only money can buy, you know, like get a really awesome DJ or like order this amazing food for the party. Money can create a lot of freedom for you, internal freedom and external freedom. So money is really neutral. It's not evil, and money is important, especially if you're in a business, if you're a business owner. And it doesn't matter that your business is a spiritual type of business, which many of you are in the yoga industry. I get it. Once I was able to integrate the spiritual side of me, the healer side of me, the spiritual leader and mentor side of me with the badass money making side of me, like, you know, the amazing business babe side of me, that's when I really started thriving in my business. I really started thriving personally. I started thriving in all the areas of my life. So, but that's a topic for another training. We can talk about it offline. And today I want to say that revenue is your ultimate KPI. And like I already said, revenues and attendance will always go hand in hand together. All right, let's move on. So the first thing that you will do after we get off this call, you're gonna download your KPI template. I'm gonna switch the screens. I'm gonna show you how it looks like. Right now, I don't want to freak you out, even though we said I love numbers. Numbers love me. I love numbers. Numbers love me. Okay. Oh, here it is. Categories. Are your categories set up correctly in your software, such as MindBody Online? Now, from working with a lot of clients, I realized that a lot of you guys don't have your categories set up correctly in your software. And when you don't have your categories set up correctly, it's very difficult for you to analyze the numbers. So I recommend cleaning it up, and this is how you do it. So when categories are set up correctly, then you can look at the numbers and understand them easily. Think of categories as big buckets. If you're a yoga studio, you'll have categories like yoga classes. That's your one category. You'll have a category for workshops. That'd be another category. You'll have a category for teacher trainings. You'll have a category for retreats. You'll have a separate category for your retail products. And then if you want to be like really OCD, like I am, and I totally get off on numbers, I would even separate your rentals, like rental mats, rental towels, as a separate category, because I like to measure, like if I'm going to buy certain equipment that I'm renting and it requires an investment up front, I want to be able to tell how long does it take me to make up, how long does it take me to get a return on that investment, you know what I mean? So if you're a gym, that would be different categories. Maybe your private classes will be in one category. Maybe if you're a gym that has different types of services, like, you know, maybe you have Pilates classes and yoga classes, I would separate those in different categories, because you want to be able to compare apples to apples instead of having everything in one big pile. Now, different class passes are not it's just one category. You know what I mean? So sometimes people will separate 5-class pass in a separate category as your monthly membership. It's like, no, no, no. It's all class passes. It's one big category. You know what I mean? Okay, so clean that up. It's important because once you start diving into the numbers, you need to be able to see what those numbers mean. So, all right, so, and if you don't know how to do it, you can always call the customer service with your software provider. Today I'm going to talk about MindBody. You can always call the support desk and they'll tell you how to clean that up, how to clean up the categories. So, another important reason why you want to separate your categories correctly, or clean them up in MindBody correctly, or whatever software you're using, it's because if they're set up correctly, you should be able to see, okay, let's say today is May, right? Almost May 30th. So let's say in the month of May, or generally overall, right, out of all of my revenues, what percentage is my class passes? So let's say the class passes are 85% of my total revenues. Now, my workshops are only 3% of my total revenues. Everybody take a deep breath. I love numbers. Numbers love me. So let's say the workshops make up only 3% of your total revenue number. And if you, as a business owner, spending 80% of your time leading the workshops, promoting the workshops, getting ready for the workshops, it's not a good investment of your time. Do you know what I mean? You should be focusing on your money maker, which is your class passes. You should be focusing on selling those. You should be focusing on improving those because that's what makes, like I said, 85% of your overall revenues. It doesn't mean that you won't see the opportunity in that. And at the same time, it's important to focus your energy on the things that matter. I have one of the clients who sews her own yoga pants for sale. And those are really incredible, beautiful yoga pants. But, you know, if we look at her numbers, those yoga pants, first of all, they don't sell that much. And second of all, it's not even 1% of her overall revenues. And she spends all this time hand making these yoga pants. It just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? As a business owner, as a leader, you need to be focusing on the things that are important, that matter. And in this particular case, since you signed up for this course, since you're watching this training because you want to take your fitness business to the next level, in order to take your business to the next level, you need to focus on the things that will generate you lots of revenues. All right, everybody, let's take a deep, deep breath. Okay, this is also important. Look at this graph. What are your growth expectations? So you have your fitness business, and the age of your business also matters when we talk about what are your revenue expectations. So if you see, when you're a baby business, when you were first opened, in the first year of your operations, your revenue should be growing between 50 to 100%. Meaning from year 1 to year 2, the expectation is your growth needs to be between 50 to 100%. If you're a business who've been around for 1 to 3 years, then your growth expectation is between 25 to 50%. And then as you're aging, it'll be 20 to 30%. And if you're 5 years or older, it's about between 0 to 20%. Now, this is generally as an industry. It doesn't mean that if you've been around for 10 years, you'll never see growth, or your growth will be between 0 and 20%. I mean, one of my studios, I had 7 locations, like I told you guys. My original flagship studio in Houston, has been around for 10 years, you guys. And every single year, even like in the later years from 5 and on, we had a 30% year-over-year increase in revenues. So that studio has been around for 10 years. And it has always, I mean, of course, at first it was like 200% growth, 300% growth in the beginning. And then even when it was already a settled business in years 5 to 10, even in those years, which are called mature years, every year that particular studio, my flagship studio, generated 30 to 40% year-over-year growth. So even though this is general growth expectations, which will give you a great starting point to compare, it doesn't mean that it's set in stone, you know what I mean? I think what matters more is your inner state, your psychology, your belief system as a leader, as a business owner. That will have a greater impact on how successful your business is rather than just this graph. But I think the graph is also very helpful. All right, so now let's look over to MindBody. Everybody take a deep breath. All right, MindBody. So I'm going to go into the reports. And if you've never used this part of your software, or maybe you never saw the star here, favorites, I'll already put some stars here so that I don't have to go through this menu on the left to look for these options every time. So, but I'm going to show you step by step. So everybody take a deep breath and say, I love numbers. Numbers love me. I love numbers and numbers love me. So the first category we're going to talk about is your revenues. And remember that the revenues are your ultimate KPI. Revenue is the king, or revenue is the queen, is the most important piece of information you need to know, because this is the blood supply. This is your juice for your business. So let's do it. We're going to go under sales, and we're going to click sales here. So I'm going to look from the beginning of the year, and if you go under start, we're going to go under January 1. I like to look at the sales by month, January 31st. If you have multiple locations, you will separate, you'll run these reports for different locations. If you only have one location, it can be all locations. If you have, like, I had 7, so I'd run these KPIs for every one of the locations because I needed to see how every one of my studios was performing. And I'm going to select here a summary. I like to look at the cash basis, accounting basis. I'm not going to get into that. I think the accounting rule, it's been a while. It's been more than 10 years since I let go of my CPA license. But I think it's like if you generate less than $1 million in revenues, you can be on cash accounting basis. But let's just look at the cash. Basically, accrual means that, let's say, somebody bought a yearly unlimited pass to your fitness gym. On the accrual basis accounting, technically you'd have to, like, let's say that that yearly pass cost $1,200. So on the accrual basis accounting, you'd have to divide it by 12 months and then look at just $100 every month instead of lump summing it as $1,200 at the time that you receive the payment, right? And the cash basis accounting, you will lump sum that $1,200 at the time you made the sale. So when you received cash or credit card payment. Accrual basis accounting will correctly accrue it throughout a period of time. I wouldn't get too fixated on that. Just select cash and let's go. I love numbers. Numbers love me. All right, so here we are, and I'm going to look here at this total number, 19,593. So I'm going to switch over to this beautiful spreadsheet that I already put together. And here is my number, total revenues for the month of January. Right, we're in 2019 right now. It's the end of month May. So I did this step by step for every month of this year. I did it for February, March, April, May, even though it's not a full month. What I also did here at the bottom, and I hope you can see my cursor, is total revenues line 19 for 2018. Now I want to see how my business is doing year over year. So I dropped these numbers by month for every month of 2018. What I did next, and I'm going to share this spreadsheet with you guys. You can enter your own numbers here. Then on line 26 here, I looked at the revenue change, which hopefully my current year revenues are higher than my last year's revenues, because you want your business to grow, right? So I said, okay, 2019 revenues minus 2018 revenues is going to give me a year-over-year change in revenues. So January was really good, but then the rest of the month we didn't do so good. Everybody take a deep breath. And then I said, okay, what is that percentage change? Because when you look at percentages, it just gives you a different kind of filter on how you assess a situation. And when the way you calculate that is you take this variance, year over year variance, and you divide it by your base year, which is your previous year. Again, this spreadsheet is already ready to go for you. All you need to do is download it. I'm gonna change the colors to the colors that you need to drop in your information, so that the formula will spit out your calculations for you. So what does it mean? Everybody take a deep breath. What that means is that year over year, from January to May, my revenues are declining, and I'm just highlighting the first 5 months of the year. I have generated $11,000 less revenues than I did last year, January through May. That's not a very good thing. Percentage-wise, that tells me that on average, I'm about a decline of 20% in revenues. Now, this is solid numbers, so you can have some feelings about that. And the numbers tell me that I need to urgently take some steps to counteract that trend, because I am now in the month of May, and because our fitness industry is seasonal industry, I know that June, July, and August will decline even more unless I do something about it, right? Naturally, the seasonality of our business will be such that, you know, in the summertime, people travel, they take vacations, they enjoy life, like they kind of don't go to the gym as much. So knowing these two pieces of information, that winter, so to speak, like financial winter for me as a fitness business owner is coming, my revenues, my attendance are going to go down in July, and you can look at your prior year numbers to see that seasonality. I guarantee you it's there. And knowing that my revenues are down 20%, I need to do something now to counteract that. So I'm going to pause on that. I'm going to talk about strategies a little bit later. Let's look at another piece of information. So I said today that we'll talk about attendance. So here's attendance, and I ran the attendance numbers for 2019, and I also ran the 2018 attendance numbers because I want to see the seasonality I experienced in this business last year. So we're going to go to MindBody, and we're going to go under reports. I hope I'm not going too fast. You can pause the video and rewind. And to run that report, you're going to go under reports, clients. And then down here, you scroll down, and it's somewhere here, attendance analysis. Now you can highlight that star and it will save it under your favorite reports, but attendance analysis are here. And the way you run it, the same thing. So let's say we want to run it for the month of January. I'm going to select January 1, 2019 through January 31st, 2019. Here, you know, you can separate it by days of the week, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. And since I have only one location in this business, I'm just going to say all locations go. And then it will spit out this report, which is a really cool report. If you've never seen it, it actually tells you in the months of January how your 6:15 classes performed, 9 a.m. class performed. And you can see that 5:45 class was actually where the class with highest attendance. The second highest attendance class was the 9 a.m. class. Out of all these classes, 6:15 is not doing so well. Total paid visits in the entire month of January was only 39. But at the same time, we only had 7 classes at 6:15. So anyway, if you're going to continue sticking with me in all these trainings, we'll talk about the schedule. We'll talk about classes that are higher performing classes, lower performing classes. How do you make that determination? But anyway, for the purposes of attendance here, we're looking at the paid visits number, which is 1,294 visits. And this is the number that I dropped right here, 1,294. So I did the same thing for every month of 2019 and also for the prior year, which is right here, line 23, attendance for 2018, which is a previous year. Everybody take a deep breath. This stuff is important, y'all. I love numbers. Numbers love me. When you have a solid understanding of numbers, which I'm going to help you with right now, it gives you really important, powerful tools to make really great decisions. Without understanding the numbers, it's going to be difficult for you guys to make correct decisions, powerful decisions, smart decisions, decisions that create freedom, financial freedom for you, the decisions that can create the life of your dreams for you. Okay, so the same thing I did here. I said year over year percentage what is the actual visits change? And I said, I'm going to take the attendance number in January of 2019, 1,294, minus January of 2018. And it looks like we had 80 visits more this year than last year. And I did it for every month. And January, February was really good. And then starting in March, we started declining, right? And I said, okay, what is the percentage of that? And on average, it tells me that my average percentage decline is about, 1%, which is not that bad, but what it tells me is that attendance is more or less flat. So I already collected 2 pieces of information, right? I know that my revenues are going down. I know that my attendance is flat, going down a little bit. And I also know that summer is coming, and for us in the fitness industry, that means that in the summertime, people will not go to our business as vigorously as they did earlier in the year. So that means that I need to take some massive action steps to counteract that tendency, that trend, that seasonality. So what can I do? Take a deep breath so you can listen, so you can turn on your creativity, so that the artist side of you can start juicing up based on the solid numbers. From 10 years of being in the industry, from growing, expanding my business, creating a thriving business, I'll tell you one thing that works really well. In my business, we eliminated seasonality altogether. Our revenues in the month of July, which is usually the slowest month, especially if you're in Texas, because it's the hottest month out of the year. People do not go to hot yoga in the hottest month out of the year. Our July revenues were sometimes higher than our January revenues because I'm going to tell you what we did. And I highly recommend that you do the same thing. Now, we know that the success of your fitness, the success of your business, any business depends on your ability to create the raving fans, right? If your clients are happy, if your team members are happy, if you are happy, all of you are raving fans of your business, then the revenues will follow, then the numbers will follow, then the money will follow. So what we did is we looked at the seasonality of our business. We said, okay, big hike up in January, then it declines starting in June, it declines even more in July, then it flattens out a little bit, it declines again in November, December, until the big spike in January. So this is what we did, and this was an ingenious idea. I'm just sharing this with you. I'm so excited. So we decided, okay, in the month of July, we're gonna have a community event. And my husband, Roger, wrote an amazing book called Love Revolution, 21 Days to Create the Life That You Love. He wrote this book specifically for this reason. Around the second week of July, after 4th of July holiday, which is in the US is a big holiday, we started this program. It's 21 days. Now the program is free. People only pay for the yoga classes. In that program, it's a challenge, right? You come to yoga every single day, you meditate. We usually, because we had a raw vegan juice bar, we added the detox and cleanse element to that, cold pressed juices, smoothies, clean eating element to that. We added lots of free workshops. Now listen up, you guys. The program itself is free, right? The workshops that we led as part of this challenge, as part of this program, were free. And in the end of the day, our revenues during that time of the year always spiked up, and a lot of times they spiked up even higher than January. Why is that? Remember how I said that your visits will always, your attendance will always go hand in hand with revenues. When people come to your studio, when people come to your gym, they spend money. Your job is to sell them, you know, you sell them a coconut water, sell them, if you truly believe in your product, then selling becomes easy, because you know that if you're not going to sell something to them, you're doing them a disservice. So with us, when they came to our studio, yoga studio, you know, when you come out of hot yoga, the fastest way to replenish your electrolytes is to have a coconut water or a smart water that has extra electrolytes in it. So we always offer that to our clients. Because we had a raw vegan juice bar, hey, how about this freshly squeezed juice or cold pressed juice, or how about this smoothie? So when people come and people want to feel healthy, wealthy, and prosperous, and uplifted and inspired, when people come to your business and they feel like they are a part of the community, when they are raving fans, then selling becomes easy, because you're offering them something from deep in your heart, from deep from your soul, right? So even though the workshops were free, the program itself was free, we always generated lots of revenues in the month of July, which is usually the worst performing months out of the year, other than December, unless you do something really smart that I can share with you later. We usually had like a big party at the end. Hey, 21 days, you go through the end. We had a big party. We had food trucks. We had DJs. We gave away free prizes. You know, in other trainings, I'll share with you all the ideas for these community events. We've had 4 different types of events in my prior business. This one is Love Revolution, based on my husband's book, Roger Rippy. This book was written specifically to have challenges, these community events like this. Also, why did we generate a lot of funds when we did this community events? Because leading up to that event, let's say 6 weeks prior to the start of that kickoff of that challenge, 21-day challenge, which was free, we would have a big class pass sale, and would sell our class pass sales at a massive discount, like 50% discount. Would put some parameters on it. So the class pass would have a shorter expiration, or for 21-day Love Revolution, we even had a 21-day pass, which normally we don't have, but we had something like 21-day pass for $21, something really, really cheap, but that got people excited. that got people enthusiastic about doing something good for themselves together with their friends and community. Anyway, I'll have the entire video made just about special community events, how to organize them, how to plan them, how to create special offerings that will spike up your revenues, how to create and generate a lot of excitement. I hope this wind is not messing up my sound. How to get people excited and how to create raving fans of your business. Okay. Oh, and the last piece of information that I want to talk about today, you guys, I don't know how long I've been talking. That would be useful to know in this program. But the last piece of information that I want to talk to you about, guys, is targets and forecasts. So everybody take a deep breath, sit up tall and shake out your shoulders, because this is important, you guys. If you want to succeed in everything, in anything in life, you need to have a clear idea where it is that you want to go, right? Instead of just like being a leaf on the wind, so to speak. If you want to achieve a certain level of success, you need to know how success looks like to you. And I'm a big believer in vision and goals. So in this particular case, look very carefully. Let's look at the revenues. Now, I know my revenues are declining 20%. In order for me to be at the very least the same as last year, because my beginning of the year wasn't so good, and we only have June 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months of the year left. I need to make sure that in the last 7 months of the year, which is half of the year, more than half of the year, I can still make up the gap. So I'm going to say, you know, if I look here at the total year, total 187, and last year was 187, so more or less flat year over year, I need to have certain number of revenues for the last 7 months of the year. And I said, okay, in June, I'm going to start promoting my 21-day love revolution that I'm going to start in July, which means today is May 27th. I literally need to start promoting it on July 1st, because on average, it takes at least the absolute minimum 6 weeks to promote any event. So in June, I'm going to say, hey, my revenues need to increase from 6,600 in May to 10,500 in June. How am I going to do that? I'm going to have sales. I'm going to create excitement within my community about this upcoming 21-day Love Revolution program. In July, that's when the program starts. My revenues are going to go up to $15,000. Now, this is my goal. This is my target that my team and I are going to, you know, bust our butts to make it happen. And then from there, I'm going to say, okay, in August, September, October, this is how my revenues are going to go. Going to happen. In November, I'm going to have a big sale, because that's when Thanksgiving is in the US. Then that's when people are buying gifts for their friends and family. I'm going to, even though now it's May, I'm already planning for what's going to happen in December. Once I lay it all out, it's going to be very easy for me and my team to execute. So in November, I'm going to have the sale. I'm going to promote it as, hey, buy a gift of yoga, a gift of healthy lifestyle, CrossFit, the strongest, the most beautiful, sexiest body you've ever had. Give this gift to your friends and family rather than buying crap at the store. And then in December, it's going to be a slow month. It's going to go down again. So I'm going to, overall, right, you're hearing me, right? I'm saying that for 2019, at the very least, I need to make it the same as my prior year. Depending on where you are on that graph, right? If you're zero in the first year, your growth will be between 50 to 100% growth. Year 1 to 3, it should be between up to 30% growth, right? So depending on where you are in the lifespan of your business, make those projections. You know, what's realistic, what you can do. Even if you and your whole team stepped up, what can you do? So I'm making these projections, right? For June through December, these are my revenue targets. This is what I'm going to do next. I'm going to separate those targets by week. So $10,500 revenue in June, I'm going to divide it by 4, which is every week I need to be generating $2,625. This is my weekly goal. I'm going to go deeper and say there's 30 days in June. 10,500 divided by 30 is $350. Everybody take a deep breath. I love numbers. Numbers love me. Moreover, I love money. Money loves me. So I need to, me and my team, we need to generate a minimum of $350 every day in order for me to hit that target. You know what I mean? Now, within a week, you all know that there is a kind of like a fluctuation within the week, right? People come on the weekend, people come on Monday, Tuesday, starting on Wednesday, it starts trickling down. Thursday is usually the slowest day of the week, etc. You know, even within the week, there is like, it goes like that. On average, you know, on Monday, you may be generating $550 in revenues, but you know, on Thursday, you may generate only $150. But on average, you need to be generating $350 to meet my goal of $10,500 in June. Do you know what I mean? Everybody take a deep breath. So I separate my goal for a weekly goal and a daily target, and then I communicate it to my team. And I mean, it's a topic for a different training, how to motivate your team to deliver, and at the same time, when we're all on board, when it's all hands on deck and we know we're going towards that goal and everybody is keeping an eye on that goal. And maybe if we had 3 consecutive months of hitting our goal consistently, then we have a pizza party, or I don't know, maybe you go to the nail salon and get our nails done. Something small, but something that you can show to your employees that you're grateful, you know. But anyway, we're going to talk about it in another training. I do the same with attendance, right? So I see that I already told you what my analysis was, year-over-year attendance numbers. So I make the same projection for the rest of the year. Bi-monthly attendance, I project a spike in July because I'm going to do a love revolution in the month of July. So then I separate those attendance goals into weekly and daily, so that my team and I know how many people need to come every day in order for us to meet that monthly attendance goal. So that becomes a foundation of everything that we do. Does it mean that we post better content on social media, Facebook, Instagram? Does it mean that my team and I make phone calls to the people who run the reports in MindBody, the people who haven't been to the studio in several weeks? We call them. Maybe some people that you know personally that you notice that they haven't been around for a while. We call them. People love that personal attention. I mean, I ran my multi-million-dollar fitness brand, and I still made those personal phone calls. I called people that I knew personally if they haven't been to the studio in a while. I taught classes, several times a week. So my regulars, if they weren't showing up, I'd call them myself and be like, hey, dude, what's up? Like, is everything okay? And usually the next day that come back. And people are usually really moved and touched that you care. So what I'm trying to say, you guys, it's everything. You got to be firing on all cylinders in order to create success in your business. Now, I mean, it's not a topic of the conversation for today's training, but I did the same for auto-pays. I did the analysis for the auto-pay numbers. I did the analysis for intra-special sales sold. In my later trainings, I'll talk about diving deeper into KPIs, things like conversion rates, retention rates, how many people purchase a class pass, like what percentage of people, from the moment they come to my business, how many of them make a purchase of any kind? How many of those people sign up for a membership? How many of those people never come back? Why don't they come back? Do I call them? Does my team call them and ask like, hey, why, like, what could we have done differently? Get feedback so that you can constantly improve, can constantly get better. Okay, let's take a deep breath. I just covered a lot. So your homework for today will be to clean up, update, deactivate all revenue categories, like maybe some old class passes that you no longer sell, workshops that you no longer offer. Kill that in MindBody, clean it up. Run your attendance and revenue KPIs for this year and prior year and make that comparison, right? Is it increasing or declining compared to last year? Set monthly, weekly, daily goals for your revenue and attendance, and set up an Excel spreadsheet where you and your team can track those numbers on a daily basis. And then come up with strategies on what you're gonna do to counteract that seasonality and plan for the rest of the year. So like I said, you know, from my experience, I can tell you that those community events are really, really powerful. We've done 40 days to personal revolution based on Baron Baptiste's book in the past, but 40 days is too long. Most people, less than 30% of the people who start finish the 40-day program. But 21 day is like sweet number. It takes 21 days for people to create a new habit. So lastly, what I want to invite you guys to do is join my Rockstar Yoga Fitness Business course. It's a 12-week course, and with 6 live sessions like what I recorded today. I want to give you guys a week for your homework, because unless you're doing the work, your investment of time, money, energy is really worthless. You got to be doing the work. You got to be taking massive action steps in order for your business to succeed and thrive. So the things that we cover in this Rockstar Yoga or Fitness Business course are the most important thing that I consider to be the ultimate leverage in your success in everything is your inner state and your psychology as a successful business owner. The success of your business doesn't depend on the industry. It doesn't depend on outside circumstances. It's all up to you. Whatever your inner state is, whatever your beliefs are, whatever your psychology is, if you believe you can succeed, you will succeed. It only depends on you as a business owner. We're going to talk about pricing strategy and offerings to create that thriving Rockstar Yoga studio, that Rockstar Fitness gym. And I'm going to share with you pricing strategy that helped me generate mid-7-figure revenues annually in my business. We'll go deeper into KPIs. We already talked about it. We'll go deeper into retention. We'll go deeper into conversion. We'll go deeper into recurring revenue, which is your auto-pay memberships. And I'm going to share with you guys strategies, proven strategies that work to improve those conversion rates, what to do, just like I shared with you how community events eliminate that big dip in revenues and attendance. I'm going to share with you many more strategies and practices like that. We're going to talk about creating a raving fans culture, not only your clients, but also your team, creating, inspiring, empowering your dream team every single day of your life, because that's your job as a leader. We'll talk about marketing and community building. Ultimately, your raving fans will deliver the success of your business. Your primary focus should always be on creating raving fans all the time, be it your clients, be it your employees, be it your yoga teachers, you yourself as a leader. And then lastly, we'll talk about accounting fundamentals, budgeting, performance goals, HR basics. And then also added like a bunch of bonuses which are outside of those live sessions, but I felt like they were important, and I'm going to be filming them now before we start the course in a few weeks. We'll go into the 7 levels deep exercise, which is finding your ultimate why. When you know your ultimate why, when you know that inner leverage within you, when you identify it with clarity, you can literally do anything. If you find a big enough why, you can literally do anything you put your mind into. Or like Aristotle said once, give me a large enough lever and I'll move the world. So the same here. 7 deep levels deep exercise is really, really powerful for your success as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. Another bonus is vision and goal setting to manifest magic. This is king, you guys. My whole life, this 1 year of world travels with my family and kids, my successful business, the sale of my business, all of that, my retreat center in Taos, New Mexico, all of this came as a result of business and goal setting that I do at least twice every year. Everything that I have in my life comes from vision and goals. So I coach people on that, and I'm going to create a bonus for you guys. Another bonus is growing and keeping a badass yoga teaching team, and how that adds to your bottom line. This is important. Again, your team, your teachers, your employees are also your raving fans. And I'm going to talk about how create those raving fans and why it's important. Because if your team is happy, if your team is lit up, if your team is inspired, then money will always follow. And then meditation practices for daily rituals to create success in your business. Woo, I have lots of bonuses. That's so awesome. I forgot that I'm offering you guys that. So because this is my first lounge, group coaching, online coaching, this time around, I'm offering 2 hours of my personal analysis of your numbers. So you're going to run the numbers for yourself, KPIs and such. I'm going to look at your numbers that you run, and I'm going to give you some feedback, suggestions, and recommendations. And I'm also going to spend 1 hour of one-on-one coaching with you. I'm going to explain why I'm recommending X, Y, and Z. Now, remember, guys, I want my coaching clients to be open and coachable. Remember how I said in the beginning of this call, listen, do, succeed, do part is really, really important. And then I'm giving some of you guys, if you want, an opportunity to up-level, upgrade. So for an additional fee, you can upgrade to 4 additional one-on-one calls with me. Woo! That's it. What I can tell you guys, I have a lot of experience starting, growing, expanding, and eventually selling my hugely successful fitness brand. Mine was yoga, but we also added other elements of a fitness brand to it down the road. It would be my privilege, it would be my honor to share this knowledge, this experience with you. I'm not planning on opening another fitness business, at least not in the near future. And I want to help people. I want to help fellow yoga studio owners, fellow fitness gym owners succeed, because I see so many of you guys struggling. It would be my privilege and my honor to serve you and to share with you everything I know. And a lot of that knowledge, a lot of that success came as a result of making tons of mistakes. And a lot of those mistakes are really, really costly. So I want you to avoid making those mistakes. I want you to get to success much quicker and easier than I did. So send me a message, DM me with any questions. You can go to my website, albinarippy.com. You can read more about the courses that I offer. This one is called Rockstar Yoga Rockstar Fitness Business Course. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to expand the screen right now. Thank you so much, you guys. It's been my pleasure, my honor, and my privilege to be here with you. Reach out to me with any questions. Good luck, and go kick all sorts of butt. Step it up. And remember, I love numbers. Numbers love me. I love money. Money loves me. Bye. Okay, how do I stop this? Oh, here it is.